I've worked with ADHD medications that are non-stimulants that didn't work. So they didn't even go for approval. And we had another non-stimulant that had a lot of side effects that actually was submitted to the FDA, and they wanted a lot more data. And the company's just like, you know, we're not going to go forward with it. But it wasn't a stimulant. Stimulants get approved because we know about them. They have a long track record. Methylphenidate was first approved in 1955 as Ritalin. So we have a really long track record. We know about side effects, and there weren't any adverse effects with CTX 1301 that you wouldn't expect with methylphenidate.
You know, you brought up the non-stimulant medications, and there have been a couple approved, Qelbree, Strattera, I believe. How do those fit into the treatment paradigm?
Well, they're important medications, and I've worked with both of them in clinical trials. As a matter of fact, I've worked with just about everything in clinical trials that's out on the market. I've done about 200 clinical trials. Qelbree is viloxazine extended release. And for people who can't tolerate stimulants, for people that don't want to tolerate stimulants, say they have somebody in their family or in their household who has substance use disorder, Qelbree is a great medication. And so is Strattera or atomoxetine. These medications don't work quite as well. Their efficacy isn't as high. Their effect size is going to be lower. I think the best effect size I've seen for atomoxetine in clinical trials was about a 0.7. Usually people rate it lower than that. And Qelbree is about 0.3, 0.4. So they work, but not quite as well as the stimulants do. And they have a different side effect profile.
Okay. I mean, can you give us a few ideas of what that side effect profile is like?
Mm-hmm. So Qelbree, it's interesting because in children, the biggest side effect that we saw in clinical trials was somnolence or sleepiness.
Okay.
But in adults, the biggest side effect we saw was insomnia or trouble sleeping. Now, there are probably a couple reasons for that. One is the way that Qelbree is metabolized. It actually can prolong blood levels of caffeine in the bloodstream. So if people are using a lot of caffeine, especially adults, that may impact sleep. That's why there may be more insomnia. And we started the study at the worst possible time. We started it in November of 2019. And you know what happened in March of 2020. So a lot of anxiety. I wasn't sleeping like a baby. So I expected more side effects or more sleep issues with my patients too.